All right, Shalom. All praises goes to goes to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakak Kwadash. Double honors goes to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, from whom we learn the truth. And much love and peace and blessings goes out to all you hopeful elect brothers that are teaching the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai in truth and in sincerity. So this lesson is going to be based upon the concept of America being Babylon, because Apostle Tahar uploaded a video as of yesterday that pretty much is breaking down the scriptures of America being Babylon, because America, according to the Bible, is Babylon, and the Bible is facts. The Bible is the word of the Creator, the word of the one who has shaped the earth, right? Yahweh. And Yahweh Shai is the embodiment of Yahweh's word, which Yahweh Shai is the son who came 2,000 years ago to die on the cross, right? So contained within the word of the Most High is prophecies of things that have happened from the beginning unto the end, right? So I want to get this precept real quick. Declared before. So this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 42, verse 9. It says, "Behold, the former things are come to pass." And that's everything that has happened in prophecy, right? Before the time that we're living in. These things have happened. The rise of Alexander the Great, which was prophesied. The rise of the Edomites, which was prophesied. The rise of Babylon even, which was prophesied, has come to pass. And now we're living in the time of Babylon being fallen. It says, "And the new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them." So this is one of the concepts of the Bible, is that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai shows his power. This is one of the ways he shows his power, and one of the most powerful ways he shows it, and it shows that he has ultimate control, is through the prophecies that are written in the Bible. And would you not think that the Most High would have spoken of a kingdom as powerful as America? Don't you think the Most High would actually tell you of this kingdom, this place that has enslaved his people and conquered the whole earth, got the whole earth walking after its ways? And the Most High has said of these things. He has spoken of America, right? So I'm going to get it in the scriptures, right? This is Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 7. It says, "Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand." And this golden cup represents America basically being used by the Most High. And it's gold because of its value. You see what I mean? It's gold in the hand of the Most High because America is one of the most powerful kingdoms to ever come on the face of the earth, right? And the simple fact that, look, the way that America is used by the Most High is in the form of a cup, right? Because it will explain how America is like this cup that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. And what does it mean by this wine? The wine means by philosophies. So this is why America, as a society, as a nation, if you will, because really, biblically, nations are what people today call races, right? But America as a nation, as you know it, has been used to influence the earth with its wicked ways, to multiply the earth in wicked acts. Because what is this the time of? This is the time of the heathen nations being judged. So in order for the heathen nations to get their measure of judgment which the Most High has allotted, they have to be partaking in a certain amount of wickedness, because the Most High is a just God. He doesn't bring certain judgments upon you unless you have been fit for that. And that's why you Edomites will face the most severe forms of punishment, because you have been the actual cup that the Most High has used to make the rest of the earth wicked. So you are the perpetrator in all of this. Though we know the rest of the earth, the rest of the heathen nations will be judged, you Edomites are going to be judged the most severely. But the point is, this hammers home the fact that America is Babylon. Why? Because this equates to Americanization. You see, because during the time of ancient Babylon, all societies and nations were not necessarily following after the ways of ancient Babylon. You had the Egyptians, which had their own god. You had the Cushites at that time, which had their own god. You had Ammon and Moab at that time, which had their own gods and religions. You had Japhite at that time, which had their own ways of life. But America right now has been the most influential. Why? Because of the amount of traveling, the amount of information that goes out, especially by way of the internet. Now that the internet has been formed, you know, you want to talking going back to the 1980s, moving forward, a lot of the nations of the world has easy access to what goes on in the American, you know, the American lifestyle. They copy that. And even going back before that, nations modeled itself after America due to its military successes, man. So that's why America is Babylon, if you can understand that. And this will explain what these grapes mean. This next precept will show you that it's not literal wine. There's not some wine in ancient Babylon that every nation was sipping on like some MD-20. No, this is referring to philosophies or ways of life. Deuteronomy 32:32 says, "For their vine is the vine of Sodom and of the fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes are the grapes of gall. Their clusters are bitter. Their wine is the poison of dragons and the cruel venom of asps." You see? So this is how this explains how this wine is parabolic, right? This wine is a way of life, because it's not saying that this wine, you know, which is referred to in the scriptures in the book of Jeremiah as a literal wine. No, it's talking about philosophies, right? All of the ancient fields and vineyards of Sodom and Gomorrah, they got destroyed. The ancient fields of Sodom and Gomorrah don't exist anymore. So there ain't no ancient wine from Sodom and Gomorrah that you can have access to. The thing of Sodom and Gomorrah, which was poisonous to the people, was their ways of life. Why? Because they believed in homosexuality, idolatry, okay, and all other vile acts. Feminism. This is what Sodom and Gomorrah actually partook in, and that is why Sodom and Gomorrah met that fate of being totally wiped off the face of the earth. You see what I mean? So that wine is a Salakia lesson was interrupted, but it says their vine is as the vine of Sodom, right? Sodom and Gomorrah's vineyards were destroyed completely. So there's not that, like I mentioned, it's not some ancient wine that you can get from that land. It's talking about what has endured from that time of Sodom and Gomorrah, which is that way of life. And America has done that as well. Poisoned the nations and made them mad through her ways, right? Because you got this term called Americanization. So Americanization, from Wikipedia, is the process of an immigrant to the United States of becoming a person who shares the American values, beliefs, and customs by assimilating into American society. This process so and really this term expands more beyond just, immigrants moving to, because that's actually the wrong page. Salaki. It says Americanization is the influence of American culture and business has on other countries outside the United States, including their media, cuisine, business practice, popular culture, technology, or political techniques. In America, Americanization is the most popular form of this, right? Because you got other terms like Japanization, right? Japanese culture permeating different societies, but what is the most strong? It's Americanization, because you got McDonald's in all kind of different countries. You have democracy in all kind of different countries, which people duly elect, presidents. And on a side note, we know these presidents from these different countries are really set up by the elites, but according to the standard of most people, they elect presidents into their country, and America started that. So that's why America is Babylon. You can't name any other country that fits that definition, right? Because here, just based on this title here, it says the upside of a de-Americanized world, and this is from October 2013. Because what does that imply? This title alone implies that the world itself was Americanized at a particular point, and the world is still Americanized, but it's speaking of de-Americanization in this period, at this particular time, because America is being weakened. America is being looked at as a gazing stock and as a clown, really, from its people to its politics to its forms of comedy, its ways of life. So let's read this again. Jeremiah 51. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hands. And that's right. Because, this, when you wield something in your hand, it's to your control. America has been set up by Yahweh, by Shem Yahushai. Even though we know it's wicked, the Most High deals on both sides. He set up America for a particular purpose. It says that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore the nations are mad. So this is speaking of that Babylonian influence that America has on the rest of the world. Okay? That's what this scripture is talking about. All right, so with that, all praises goes to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Shalom.